See ya. Welcome along then to the F1 Sim Racing 2026 World Championship. It's event 3 and we are looking at shots from round 9 around COTA as we went qualifying. A shock exit for Alfie Butcher in Q1, but that man there, 68th qualifying session, and he has put himself on pole for the 9th time. The last time he did that was the 2023-24 season, Nicolas Long. Well done to him. He's on pole position, and what a star-studded lineup to join me as far away as they possibly can be. Nicola Hume and Brendan Lee, two-time world champion. It was extra special. We had earlier on in the day a great session around Zandvoort, and now we're in COTA for qualifying. It was very exciting, wasn't it? It was exciting. I feel like we're at the end of event 3. There's one more event to go. It's now everything. Everyone's throwing everything at it now. And it seems like it's getting pretty exciting. It was so nice to chat to Nico Long earlier because he was so pleased with that pole position and 1,000th of a second in it. 1,000th. That's basically nothing. Yeah, it's basically nothing. And he was reminding us of all that was what it was like at Las Vegas in 2023-24. There was nothing in it back then. Danny Beresney will be starting on the front row with him, and here's the driver that was told 1,000 of a second separates you. Former teammate Brendan Lee. What did you make of quali, and how will Danny be feeling after that?
I think we have the tallest average for the P1 and P2 ever. Something I wish I could say, given I'm very small myself. But Daniel Beresney has been around since forever, hasn't he? And to see him always at the top is really cool, and I'm really proud that I got the chance to work with him back in the day.
Let's take a look back then at how it all unfolded, starting with Q1. Let's do it in order. Good idea, Tom. Q1 then, and it was exciting. When would they head out in the rainy, wet conditions and got underway? What did you make of Q1, Brendan? Any surprises, any shocks for you?
Yeah, I think the biggest shock was Alfie Butcher. Such a talented young man, really a great young person as well. Great team around him, so of course, unfortunate, but his teammate was pulling some tricks for us as well to make up for everything else. So I think that makes up for it, to be honest. Yeah, the
crowd were entertained in the stands. Brilliant F1 fans there. Thomas Ronhart know what he had to do after getting DNF in the last round of Zandvoort and putting the pressure on. But it was interesting to see with Ruben Pedrena just coming off the back of a podium and getting knocked out there. Gabor, we saw earlier coming into the pit lane and crashing into one of the signs there. But a sort of look of frustration from Alfie, Ruben Pedrena, and Joris Krozen. Moving into Q2, you didn't have to do any Q1 interviews, which I was glad for you on that one, Nicola. But what was it like down there in the arena in Q2?
Yeah, it was pretty tense for Q2, but I mean, my main target was to have a little chat with Gabor Santos because it was his first time, his debut, and I think getting through to Q2 is still quite a big deal for your debut in sim racing, so it was really lovely to catch up with him earlier.
Gutting to see Duncan Hoffman going out in Q2 as well, not making it to Q3. Yoni Tolmiller, Julian Klaffenbach, Alvaro Carreton, and as you mentioned, Gabor. Into Q3 then, and this is where it began to hot up as the conditions changed, Brendan. Any shocks, any surprises for you? Maybe that one is the biggest shock. Not one pole position last year.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about Nico earlier, that maybe he listened to my advice, maybe he didn't, maybe I shouldn't be giving advice because he's on pole position and I'm on a sofa. But I think apart from that, the biggest surprise was Jarno. We know his caliber, we know his skill, we know how tough he is mentally as well. So to have that spin is quite unfortunate. Just bottomed out the car on the curbing with the rotation and spat the car into the wall. But to be honest, if anyone can come back from it, it is Jarno.
Do you think that the mental aspect of it is one of the most important things these drivers have that separates the ones at the top and middle of the pack and further back?
For sure, mental is so critical in every area of life. And when you're performing with one lap to make your dream come true or not come true, right? Because you're chasing the pole position, you're chasing your championship hopes. There's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of expectation, and we must remember these are paid professionals and they're getting pretty nice salaries as well. So there's a lot of pressure from the team to make sure you're on your A game.
Yeah, I was imagining you there about to reveal what they're getting paid, and both my eyes and Nicola's eyes just...
I was ready.
Is Brendan going to do it? He's not going to do it. You talked about that, you mentioned about Nico Long, used to be the hot lapper. So you know that you're capable of doing something, and it didn't happen all of last season. that must be a great reward for him to just go, yeah, still got it, and having that mental to approach.
Yeah, of course. And whenever you join a new team, you're also working with new people. He went from Ferrari to Williams as well. So to see him find a new form is something really nice to see, because even just coming from a driving experience, to see the struggles and also the triumphs that you can find in a new team, a new environment, is cool to see. His father's happy, he's happy, and for me, that's one of the most important factors.
And no one's asking me. I'm happy as well.
Are you happy?
I'm very happy to see Nico there. What would make me even happier is a side-by-side view of that fastest lap from Nico Long. Would you do me the honours, please, Brendan Lee?
Of course I will. So 1,000th of a second in it, so it's going to be pretty tight. Going into turn 1, using the curbing on the right-hand side, wheel flick into the apex just to scrub off the speed with the front axle as you're going into the corner. You'll see drivers doing that quite regularly on this season of sim racing. Flat left, flat right, flat left again, and a little hesitation on the throttle to make sure your racing line has a good discipline. Over the curb on the inside, keep left. Up over the crest of the hill, easy to invalidate on the left-hand side and also on the right-hand side here. Up and down the crest into the hairpin, critical to slow down the car enough. You'll see a big curbing on the inside. Attack that without going too wide on the exit. Now the sun is in your eyes, and if you had a visor, you would probably want to put it down at this moment. Burning the battery, and now you can cut the inside curbing on the left-hander quite a lot. So open up on the right, 100-meter board, down into third gear, wheel flick into the apex, and as you can see, cutting the inside curbing. Open up the left, open up the right, and now compromising the apexes to open up the following exit. Wide here, straight line as much of the braking, and now straight line the exit as possible. Easily flat out in a modern Formula 1 car. In fact, you're so easy flat out, you're minimizing the distance around this corner. Hardest apex on the lap, full commitment to the inside curbing. Final apex of the lap, easiest to invalidate because you can get greedy. Nico or Danny doesn't do that and run up to the line, and that is how to master a lap around Austin, Texas.
Seeing that side by side,
Nothing.
it just looks like, to the human eye, just looks like a mirror image, doesn't it? That's crazy how tight that was.
So excited to watch that. And this guy knows all about it with 4 podiums around COTA and a win back in 2018. Brendan Lee, thank you so much. Bringing that expertise that we love, and I'm sure people watching right now will be enjoying it, as they will be seeing Otis Lawrence at the top there of the driver's standing, and there is nothing in it. 5 points, if my maths is on point with that. And then Jarno Ottmer down in third, and you just can't write him off, can you? Jarno Ottmer becoming a 4-time world champion is still in the mix, and I know this much from watching over the years of doing this, that event 4 is when Red Bull really lock in. That is the one.
It is, but also at the same time, you can't ignore the fact that he's 25 points behind Otis. That's an entire race win behind Otis. So Jarno needs to pull his socks up.
Imagine this scenario then. I know he's in 10th right now, but fast forward to our next 3 races. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Just that one win. And Otis, we've seen this event. Yeah, we know he's rapid. But in terms of showing that pace to be 3 poles, and then get the race win, it hasn't happened for Otis so far. So that pressure builds, does it not, Brendan? When you're there and you're so close, you know about winning a championship. When the pressure builds and you're like, oh, one mistake here, didn't pick up as many maximum points as I wanted to.
I think, yes, pressure builds, but it's how you reset yourself after. Of course, we have 2 races today alone. And the qualifying sessions are intense, the race sessions are intense. So it's really about how you go away, have some spag bowl, have a garlic bread as well, and able to reset the mind to go ahead. But in terms of the mentality, Jarno's got all the traits he needs, you know, and of course, he's the biggest name in the series. So of course, he's got a big spotlight on him. He's got the most championships of anyone as well. But I really can only sing his praises. And he's the most successful person. And I can see it hurts him, you know, when he's not doing well. And as a human, that's not nice to see.
Well, we are 7 minutes away from getting the race underway. Starting in P9, I was a bit of a number 9 playing football.
Okay.
Pacey, scoring goals.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of Barry Bonman. He's the guy to watch for me.
Basically the same person.
Nowhere near. The reason I say he's a driver to watch, because what is going to be that strategy of Ferrari? What can they do to round out event 3 in style? He's coming off the back of a win in Zandvoort. He's got previous. He's been on the podium the last 2 races here in COTA. it's going to take a monumental sort of fortune from him, a bit of chaos up front. As I spoke to Jonas Martins before we got back to go racing, and he said, yeah, they can only expect to see something happen if it happens in front of the pack. As we're watching back, that moment he gets the overtake on Freddie Rasmusson. He's going to need a lot of overtaking today, isn't he, Brendan, to get back up on a podium?
Yeah, I think, well, everyone apart from Nicolas Long needs a lot of overtaking as well. Maybe Beresne, but apart from everyone else, they need to send it.
Yeah, okay, I like that. He's put me in my place there, Brendan. Okay, Brendan, driver to watch for you, sir. I've gone with Barry and the Ferrari team. What are they going to do? What's the strategy? I'm intrigued by that. But what about you?
I'm going to go with Jarno, just purely on the human aspect, because he's had a rough yesterday, had a rough today so far, and just to see him leave on a good note will be pretty cool.
Okay. Awesome to hear that for Jarno, your three-time world champ, the GOAT. What about you, Nicola Hume?
Thank you so much for asking, Tom Deacon. Otis Lawrence for me now. Event 2, he was on fire. Pole, win. And it seems like Event 3, he hasn't quite found his feet, and he's been a bit more serious. I mean, even spotting him at lunch and things, he's not kind of that cheeky chappy that we would expect to see in Otis, and it feels like the energy in him has been a little bit down. But now is the moment for him to come fighting back. But the pickle that he's had over the last sort of quali sessions and the races, I mean, we can see the mistakes that he's made. That quali session earlier when he did a full spin earlier was just not expected from Otis. So I'm getting slightly concerned that maybe the championship is getting to him a little bit. We've got to remember, he's only 18 years old. It's the first time in this situation, and he's up against Jarno Opmeer, who is also weirdly making really tricky mistakes. So the two of them together, that complete clash, both of those up for the championship, both making mistakes. Is this a moment that both of them can take advantage of each other making those mistakes, or does Freddie just come swooping in?
You know who it is who's making them nervous? This is people talking about them the whole time. It's you and me. We're guilty really parties in this. Not at all. Otis Lawrence, I feel like, Brendan, I don't know if you think this as well, if he gets a good quali, you just get that strut from him. He's confident, he walks around as that Otis that we know. And if it doesn't go quite right, it really does affect him for the race, when all he needs to do is just keep accruing points and make sure Jarno and Freddie are behind him.
To be honest, I disagree. Okay, look, for immediately after the session, you see his emotion, but let's take Spa. Had the disaster in the qualifying invalidated, then even by his own words, did the best race of his career, I think it was. I think he even posted that on the socials. So he's down for a little while, but then comes back. And I think he does a good job of letting his emotions come out. I think that's also quite healthy, even if to other people it seems extreme. And then he draws a line with it and goes racing.
Okay. Earlier on, Alex Jake said it's one of the greatest tracks, COTA. What is your thoughts on this, Brendan Lee, four-time podium driver around this circuit?
Great barbecue. So, great barbecue, and to be honest, fast-flowing, and it's really technical on the tyre temps and the tyre management as well. Strategy is important when you box because of the high tyre deg. You can really make an influence on your driving ability to save them or burn them too early, thus creating overtaking opportunities later in the race.
And when we think pit stop strategy, we had a one-stop or a two-stop for Zandvoort. No one knew what was going to happen. You had a clear indication of what would happen. Do you agree with that graphic that you see before you, Brendan?
I do. I think some people will go a bit more extreme or boxing earlier rather hard, though. Possibly lap 7, lap 8, maybe lap 9.
We saw a lot of track invalidations earlier on. This is a trap, especially in quali, it's risk versus reward. Danny Beresne spoke perfectly, eloquently on that. How will that go into the race, Brendan? Because we're seeing some of those moments, but what did you make of these invalidations and these exceeding track limits?
I think it's normal, to be honest. You have transferable conditions, people are a bit nervous, you're in a room with your competitors ultimately fighting for the same dream as well. So it's normal to be making mistakes. Around COTA, it's higher than normal because of the wide lines and how aggressive you are with the curbing. Let's look at Julian here. You can see how much curbing and track you have to use. They're at the limit of the game. They're striving for perfection, and when you're striving for perfection, you may trip. Let's think of it like a marathon. You're probably not going to do a marathon without slipping up at least once, are you?
Hey, and I tell you what, someone who likes a bit of running, Nicola, is this man here. Are you still running, Brendan?
I am.
know, because and I asked that question that deviates from what we're about to get underway, is because there's a pedal issue for one of the drivers out there. So we've got a little bit of filling time. So don't worry, I'm not going off tangent like I normally do.
I was wondering
for
what was
no
happening
good
there.
reason.
Okay.
But are you still running? Is that important? Because athletically, these drivers will see a lot of the time going straight to the gym and getting rid of those endorphins and being in the physical shape as well.
Yeah, I still like to run. I've taken a little break just to fix an injury in the last month, but I like to run. I want to run the whole UK. That'll be a dream of mine. It's something like 750 miles and I'll do it in like a month. Apart from that, I wanted to do a race, 100 kilometers in June, but I'm going to a different event that's not announced at the moment. So I'm quite excited for that.
And in terms of, before I start talking about our commentary team getting ready to get to grips with COTA, in terms of being here, part of it, we really appreciate your time, as I'm sure you don't throw a cue card at our guest.
Got overexcited.
But for me, being back here, is it made you, I know you're the Ferrari ambassador, but is it made you kind of want to get behind the rig, or is it the right decision? No.
He said no yesterday.
No, I know, but I just wanted to double check with day two. It's always good to check in on people.
No, I don't want to be in the competition again. I still like driving. I love being on my sim. I love doing my own stuff with the content I do with Ferrari as well. But I had my time on the train, so to speak, and I understand when to get off the train and get the appropriate platform in this hypothetical situation. But look, Formula One and the teams I raced for gave me the most wonderful opportunity in life. I was working in a kitchen as a chef before, I loved, but it gave me an opportunity to express myself on the world stage, race on the world stage, and be able to make a job out of it at the same time. And also now giving me the opportunity to be sat on this desk, and they even give me free food for lunch. So really,
Listen,
I really can't complain.
He's not complaining. I know.
He's here for the bolognese.
Brendan Lee, an absolute pleasure to have you here. It's also a pleasure to have the whole team behind the scenes working on this. But Alex Jakes, Kai Bacchini, you are in the commentary box looking forward to this one, and we could just underline it. Brendan Lee is not coming back. However, Nico Long starts on pole. This is going to be a good race, gentlemen.
It certainly is, and Brendan was right about that bolognese. It was excellent. It was really good.
It was above par.
Thanks so much to the whole team here. Kai, we've got some race on our hands. A couple of legends on the front row.
Yeah, outstanding front row. Nicolas Long and Danny Beresnay. What a front row. Couldn't be any better.
It's a pretty talented field. We're really looking forward to this. It's been an epic day, many sessions involved, and now we're going to the real thing around a fast and flowing circuit that's provided so many three-wide moments through the years. Remember, we've still got Otis Lawrence at the top of the drivers' standings. But the great thing about this is when you get different drivers just chasing the win, like Longuet and Beresnay are. Let's start at the back of the field with Joris Kroesen. He's next to Alfie Butcher. Butcher, a proven race winner in 17, shows you the depth of talent in this field. Ruben Pedreno, very, very strong in the previous race in third. He's in 16th. Making his debut, Gabo Constas finds himself in the next position. Alvaro Carreton is in 14th, and it's Klaffenbach in 13th place. We move to the next row, which is Joni Tormela and Duncan Hofland. To the top 10 now, where we see our reigning champion Jarno Opmeer next to Barry Borremund in 9th. He was our winner of the previous race. We go to the next row, which is Ismail Fassi next to Jake Benham, who is in P7. McLaren man will be behind Ulas Elzelderim and Thomas Ronhaar. Thomas Ronhaar back on form, back in the top 5. Previous podium finisher around here. And next we move to the second row. Freddie Rasmusson having a very good event. Otis Lawrence getting a strong third place, but he's behind his teammate on the front row of the grid. Danny Beresnay alongside Nico Long. Nico Long taking pole position by a magical 1,000th of a second around a circuit that runs to 20 corners. Amazing qualifying session. Let's see what we get in the race. The lights are out for F1 Sim Racing, and we are racing to turn number 1. Lap 1 of 28. Side by side we go into the first turn. Nicolas Long getting elbowed out. Danny Beresnay to the lead at this stage. He's got it. Is he bringing Otis Lawrence with him as well? We go on board with Otis Lawrence, who's looking forward, who's looking back, and Otis Lawrence makes it an Alpine 1-2. They're on the medium tyres. They got the launch, and Nicolas Long goes from pole to 3rd position.
Beresnay said they would have been hoping for one place better from both Alpine drivers. They get exactly that. By the time we reach turn 2, Danny Beresnay leads the way from Otis Lawrence, your championship leader, in 2nd position. The best form he's been on so far this weekend. Just remember, Nicolas Long is not going to take that one lying down, though.
Welcome to the championship. Gabor Santos up 4 places into the points. Ismail Fassi in 9th, Yoni Tormler in 8th, Duncan Hofland in 7th. Thomas Ronhaar lost a position, he's in 6th. Barry Borman is in 5th. Freddie Rasmusson is P4, and the top 3 we have covered on this opening tour of the Circuit of the Americas. Danny Beresnay, Otis Lawrence in team formation. Alpine chasing their first team title. That is laid on the brakes from Barry Borman. Had to be. Freddie Rasmusson all over the back of him at the moment. We're going to focus on the 2nd Ferrari in the field. Ismail Fassi in 11th place right now, chasing one of our race winners this year, Ulas Elzelderem, who finds himself P10.
One of the best opportunity creators on the grid right there, Ismail Fassi. We've seen some outstanding overtakes from the man in red, crossing the line. Danny Beresnay obviously lighting up the timing towers as he leads the fray onto the 2nd lap of this race. 41 meters of elevation all the way up into turn 1, where the drivers will hop over the curbs, try to not get any warnings for track limits as they now head down into the 2nd sector. The S's, you have to be so on the limit, threading the needle through here as all the drivers are separated by just the smallest margins. 8 tenths is what separates Beresnay and Lawrence at the moment, with Nicolas Long just hanging on in behind. He has to keep an eye on Borman, though.
The gap goes out to over a second momentarily. I don't imagine it'll go too much further than that. Otis Lawrence back in to the DRS zone and back into that 1 second window. And Nicolas Long will regroup after that disappointing start for him. Barry Borman, Freddie Rasmusson not separated by much. Interested to get a replay of the start because there's a lot going on in the middle of the pack. And on the medium tyre, Santos is up to 8th position. Absolutely superb work. His opening laps in the championship have been remarkable ones. He's making huge progress after a slightly disappointing qualifying, but an unusual qualifying. Let's go on board. Jake Benham, Alfie Butcher is ahead, his teammate, fighting Julian Klaffenbach in the Mercedes. And we continue on. Top 4 on medium tyres. 5, 6, 7. They're on the hard tyres. Santos and Elzelderem on the mediums. 8th and 9th. Yoni Tormler on the hard.
Just seen a beautiful setup with the switchback there from Julian Klaffenbach. Couldn't quite keep the car in a straight line on acceleration. A little bit of a kick out from the rear means he had to dip out on the accelerator and lose that position to Alfie Butcher. So Klaffenbach now in a McLaren sandwich down in 12th, 13th and 14th position. But with the tyre advantage, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Mercedes man making his way through the field. Santos dropping down into 9th position as Ulas Elzelderem makes light work going down the first few corners. The Haas driver still keeping it in a point-scoring position, though.
Yeah, and he'll be delighted if he can continue with that, but it's been a really strong start to the championship for the only driver making his debut in this race. He's waited for his opportunity and strong laps early on. Lap 3 of 28, we've got a lot to go here. Alpine in the box seat, 1-2 at the moment. Danny Beresnay has been open, he's been honest, he's talked about the fact that he's not doing all the races. He's not the contender for the driver's title, so there could be a swap. Let's go on board with Danny Beresnay, and he's launched off the line.
Yeah, outstanding launch off the line there from Beresnay. Got a wheel alongside straight away, was able to challenge Longuet into the first corner, just hang him out to dry on the exit. Now, this was very smart and tactical there from Beresnay. He was then put in a position where he was able to box out Longuet and allow Lawrence the opportunity to make his way through. Let's watch it from Otis Lawrence's POV. He gets the switchback here, gets alongside his teammate now. He relies on his teammate to park it on the inside line, box out Longuet. Nowhere the Williams driver can go other than settle for 3rd position.
Okay, let's go on board with Jake Benham. First of all, watch Otis Lawrence. How close was that switchback to dangerous? Not at all. But there you see what can easily happen if you get pinched on the inside. I just wondered if anyone was in close proximity to Otis Lawrence, considering he's leading the championship, considering what we saw with Oscar Piastri in the real thing at the back end of last year. But a good move for our championship leader. Unfortunate for Benham, who's been bemoaning his luck, and there we see why. Elzelderim parked up in the way and costing a hatful of places. That tells the story. As we continue, we're on board with Jarno Opmeer. P17 for the driver who lost all the positions as a result. He's down 8 places from where he was meant to start. And Jarno Opmeer is having such a difficult event. When you add up these 3 races, he's seeing his chance of being a 4-time champion slip away here. The driver he's trying to catch in the points battle is on at the moment for 18 points, but he's got his teammate in front, and Beresnay has already said he'll play the team game. This could be getting out of reach for Jarno Opmeer.
Yeah, Rasmusson in front of his teammate in the championship, but Rasmusson looking at taking home 10 points at the end of this race if things stay the way that they are right now. Jarno Opmeer down in 17th, but one driver not settling for their track position. Ismail Fassi with a brave dive on the inside there to try and pick up a position on Joni Tormela. He'll try and get that one done, but not that time round. The Racing Bulls driver was firm and held his ground. Fassi will give that one another go if we know anything about the Spaniard in the Italian livery. Down the home straight we go. Beresnay still leading the way from Lawrence, Longay, Borrement and Rasmussen is your top 5 right now. All the drivers on the grid within DRS of each other, so it's a huge DRS train all the way down to 18th. As soon as one DRS is broken, it will have a huge domino effect.
It will indeed, as we make our way around the opening parts of this spectacular circuit with Nico Long. And the pole sitter has regrouped, kept himself in contention. He's still going to have the strategic option. How he plays his cards, absolutely crucial. And who Alpine choose to cover him off with is going to be vital. It's got to be Otis Lawrence, you think, in the context of the Drivers' Championship. But Longay knows that they're having to consider 2 championships ahead. He knows that he's just going all out for the win. There's the swap. Otis Lawrence going through. We expected that. And our new race leader is the Welshman. Otis Lawrence, chasing his first title in F1 sim racing, is now P1.
I'm excited to see this, Alex. This is where Beresnay's years of racing experience can be put on display to try and fend off Longay. Beresnay, if Alpine are smart about this, they can use him as a rolling roadblock and virtually just try and park the bus on Longay, break that DRS gap to Otis Lawrence. For Alpine, they virtually don't even want Beresnay to feed off the DRS of Otis Lawrence. They just want Beresnay to fight for himself, hold up all the drivers behind. See, Beresnay's done a really good job already. He's already built a 9/10 gap between him and Otis Lawrence in front. Now, if he's able to sit on the edge of this DRS zone and build more of a gap in the middle sector, Lawrence might be able to break away.
Alpine must be laughing at how well this is going so far. A dream race for them on lap 6 of 28. Nico Longay, Nicolas Longay, all over the back of Beresnay, trying to launch an attack as soon as possible, and it is crucial for him that he's able to fight by. If he can split the Alpines, it's game on for the race win.
Beresnay just slowing it up a little bit there through the middle sector, trying to build the gap to Otis Lawrence in front, but they have to be smart about it. They can't be dangerous. And Danny Beresnay, if you're going to trust one man to do it, the Hungarian has a really good job. Barry Borrement will be watching this battle unfold in front of him, trying to hope and pick up some of the scraps, if possible. Some places as well would have been nice. Keeping an eye on Freddie Rasmusson in behind. You can't count out the man in the Red Bull livery. We said it in qualifying, never go through the order until both the Red Bull cars have crossed the line, and that is exactly the same ruling for these 28 laps around the circuit of the Americas. 20 corners and 20 overtaking opportunities for all of these drivers. Longay will be planning out his attack as the corners commence.
He will indeed, and he's had a while now to see where Beresnay is strong, see where he's weak. Oh my word, Freddie Rasmusson. Thought we were going to get a very bold move around the outside. K-Mag style, up against Sebastian Vettel from all those years ago. Long time ago that. And into the pits comes Elzelderim and Santos, who is going to make his first pit stop in the championship. That is aggressive from Elzelderim, very aggressive, as he comes in to change tyres. 19 seconds you lose in the pits. Otis Lawrence leads by 0.7 of a second.
Well, Zildjian doesn't really have anything to lose here. Remember, he was turned around at turn 1 with that contact with the McLaren of Jake Benham. Nothing that Zildjian could have done there. So maybe trying to go for the undercut here, get some open air. He's got 13 seconds to the car in front. So will now just be able to push in his own air, get those tyres up to temperature, and make the most of that fresh, hard compound of tyres from lap 7. It was predicted around lap 7 to 10 is when we'll see cars boxing in for the alternate strategy. It will be the opposite way around. 18 laps in, we're expecting these hards to go before seeing the medium tyres for them runners. But your front 4 right now still on the medium compound, so keep an eye on the pit lane.
There's a move further back for Jake Benham, driver currently in 11th position now, having passed the Mercedes of Klaffenbach. That's the pass on the back straight. Heading down to turn number 12, you're looking at your main contenders for victory. Lawrence Beresnay, Longuet, Burrement, and Freddie Rasmusson, your top 5. Thomas Ronhaar losing positions off the start line, finds himself in 6th place. Then it's Hoffman going well, P7, Yoni Tomla, Ismail Fassi, Alfie Butcher, and then Jake Benham in 11th. And don't just take my word for it, let's go on board with it.
On board with Jake Benham, but in your picture, Beresnay and Longuet both into the pit lane, but the overtake that we're keeping an eye on, that was Benham making light work of Klaffenbach. Overtaking DRS to his advantage, clear pace advantage down the straight, and gets that one done with no problem. So Beresnay into the box, Longuet into the box. Beresnay will now be able to feed this information to Lawrence on whether or not a fresh set of tyres is going to be optimal at this point in time. As well, with Beresnay boxing at the same time, Longuet gives him another opportunity to hold up Longuet on his outlap.
It does indeed. Longuet and Elzelderim, and Beresnay has the track position in 14th. Longuet in 7/10 of a second behind. Elzelderim going for the tyres early on, looking for that undercut, but being marked off by Beresnay and Longuet. And here's the move for Freddie Rasmusson. It's been coming for a while. He's still fighting for this title, and he's up to 2nd place.
Rasmusson makes his way through into 2nd. Now does Lawrence pole and peel off into the pit lane this lap? We'll have to wait and see, but Borman will try and gain back that position on circuit where possible. COTA, very much a circuit where track position and also position of the cars is very, very usable.
There's a big chance here. Danny Beresnay is going to, I imagine, be under close attack from Nicolas Longuet because they'll be watching the gap. Borman's coming in. Freddie Rasmussen's going again. Surely Otis Lawrence has to come in. He does come in as well. I think this is going to be tight stuff when they come out of the pit lane exit. Freddie Rasmusson going again is surprising. He's on that durable hard tyre. The others getting rid of their grippier compound. Rasmussen continuing on. Ronhaar continuing on. Hoffman continuing on. But where does our championship leader emerge, and is it with an advantage? Beresnay's got himself past 1, Longuet's got himself past half a second. Brilliant synchronicity for the Alpines. They brought one driver in to mark off Elzelderim's undercut attempt. It worked brilliantly, and they built exactly the gap they needed for Otis Lawrence, who holds the net race lead.
And this plan will be running to a T. Now Otis Lawrence has the tyre advantage over the drivers in behind. Danny Beresnay can go to work and try and hold up Longuet, build a little bit of a gap like he did before. Beresnay did a brilliant job of that, of breaking the DRS between him and his teammate while still keeping the Williams in behind. Now Otis Lawrence on these outlaps, he needs to get his tyres up to temperature quickly and try and push on out in front as the net race leader.
Freddie Rasmusson going with the hard to medium strategy, and so he is trying the alternative route. Lawrence, Beresnay, Longuet, and Longuet will be ruining the start and the position he found himself in. It is one of those circuits that just lends itself to a dive bomb though. So wide into a heavy braking zone, and also Otis Lawrence able to fight through. You knew the Alpines were going to switch around, and it is a great position that Otis Lawrence finds himself in at this stage. The driver, the highest, who has made his stop, and the alternative strategy. Now the question gets asked whether they can make the most of it. Thomas Ronhaar having a good run. He's 0.4 of a second behind, 0.3 of a second behind Freddie Rasmusson.
2 race wins so far this season. In Silverstone, where it was a lights to flag victory, departing from the rest of the field. Suzuka had a little bit more on his plate, but Otis Lawrence has been so strong over the course of his campaign so far, looking to make it 3 victories out of the 6 races, the 9 races that we've had in the 3 events. 1 at DreamHack in Birmingham, the other 2 here at the home of Formula 1 in Biggin Hill. And it's been an outstanding season so far from the 18-year-old youngster, really picking it up with the big boys up at the front end and putting a fight to some of the biggest veterans and the biggest names in the sim racing scene in Formula 1. Otis Lawrence, even if he doesn't walk away with the championship in the end of this one, he has to be proud of his results.
Yeah, it has been an excellent second season in the championship. The driver who switched to Alpine, and it is going very well for him. He's got Danny Berezne with all of his experience, all of his know-how, just waiting, just part of the attack. Alpine in a really good position. But Freddie Rasmusson on an alternative strategy. That can always spell danger. And Ron Hart, the winner of the race here, 1 year ago, showing that he knows a brilliant route around this circuit. You see him immediately taking that widest possible line, breaking over the curb and finding yourself rotating the car into the S's. Rasmussen still has to stop. It's going to go a long way further into this one. Then it's Ron Hart, Hovland, Tormola and Fassi. And then we have Butcher, Benham, Crozen, Caraton and Jarno Opmeer, who got shuffled back at the start of this race and is going to need something spectacular to stay in contention.
At the beginning of this event, we were constantly going on about the rivalry and the drama between Otis Lawrence and Jarno Opmeer. And well, we haven't really seen that came to fruition over the course of this event. The 2 drivers really haven't been close to each other on circuit. Obviously, this was coming off the back of the incident in Barcelona at event 2, where the 2 drivers came together on the last penultimate lap of the race. A couple of tempers were flaring, a few words were exchanged between the 2 of them. In the interview after the race, Otis said, well, it's just strictly business on the circuit. It's nothing but respect between the 2 of them. But we did wonder if there was anything more deep-rooted other than the words on the surface. And, well, nothing's really shown between the 2 of them.
No, they've been in different parts of the racetrack, in truth, in the races that we've run. A 9th place in Silverstone, a 9th place in Belgium, a 10th place thanks to the penalty that was applied after the classification across the line for Opmeer. He's finding himself at the edge of the points, at the wrong edge of the points. He would be expecting to fight for podiums. I don't think you would have got very good odds on no podiums for 4 races in a row, but this would make it 5. And Opmeer going for that 2-stop strategy in Zandvoort turned out not to be the correct one. A driver who was in middling points paying position there will be hoping for drama and mixed conditions and everything he's proven himself at, but it's just not been his event. It's not going his way, and he is yet to visit the pits, and he finds himself just about 10 seconds ahead of Otis Lawrence, with Opmeer having to come in and lose 19. He's losing more ground in the points battle, but he will hope that Freddie Rasmusson can be a contender. Red Bull still the team championship leaders as we push on. A reminder for you, if you cut the track limits over and over again in the game, you will eventually be awarded a 3-second penalty, and the margins are tight around here. You've got to push to the limits around here. As we go on board with the Selderim, who went very early, didn't he? He pulled the trigger on going for the undercut and was immediately marked off by Berezne and Longuet. And then, thanks to Berezne cooling the pace down to all the way down to 0.3 of a second at one point, Otis Lawrence able to get out ahead. And Alpine playing it nicely in our Selderim. When you go for that undercut attempt and it doesn't quite work out for you, suddenly you're having to play the waiting game. He's got Barry Borman 0.4 of a second behind. He's got Santos 0.8 of a second behind in the train of drivers who have stopped.
Well, Zildjian was able to jump over the Ferrari driver of Barry Borman with his undercut, but he really didn't have anything to lose pulling into the pit lane. He had that contact up at turn 1, so he may as well have tried something different and just hope that it work out for him. Well, he's gained a little bit of time doing so, but he will have to nurse those tyres all the way to the end, as he has a couple more laps of wear than the other drives around him. Ismail Fassi, though, on the other hand, currently in 5th on the circuit on the alternate strategy, hards to mediums, which was the exact strategy strategy that saw him walk away with the victory in Barcelona just a few races ago in Event 2. A very fond memory for the driver, winning at his home Grand Prix for his first ever victory in F1 sim racing. So a very special moment for Ferrari and a very special moment for that man indeed.
Not working at the moment for those on the alternative strategy. They would, of course, they're going to get the benefit of running on those medium tyres towards the end. But at the moment, they are not in a position to challenge. You've got Rasmusson under close attention from Thomas Ronhart. He's 0.4 of a second back. And we are focusing further back in the pack. Are the drivers trying to make their way through. Ioni Turmula all over the back of Duncan Hofland, and then Thomas Ronhart. Freddie Rasmusson ahead. Rasmusson will be hoping there's a massive offset between hard and medium that gives him a chance to attack at the end. For those who started on the hard tyres at the moment, not stacking up, they'd find themselves at the back of the DRS train that is Lawrence Beresnay, Longue, Uzaldarim, and Burrament and Santos at the moment.
Well, hopefully we'll be finding out shortly what that pace split and pace difference is like between the hard and medium tyres. And well, that very much does just depend what the end result would be for the drivers in this race, depending on how much quicker the medium tyres are in that final stint in comparison to the aged hards, which you'll see on the likes of the cars of Otis Lawrence, Danny Beresnay and Nico Long, which are your net 3 race leaders at the moment, because all of the drivers in front of them haven't boxed for a fresh set of tyres yet. So Ismail Fassi being in that fray of cars that haven't came into the pit lane yet, he needs to try and prioritise track position and get past some of the drivers in front of him if he wants to be within contention towards the end of this race.
It's that 14 of 28. When will our first hard tyre starter decide to visit the pit lane and take on the mediums that take them to the end of the race? After this one, we go to Mexico City, we go to Sao Paulo, and we finish the season at Abu Dhabi. We have 3 races remaining of the F1 Sim Racing Championship in 2026 after this contest, a contest that at the moment Alpine are in the box seat for a 1-2 in.
This could be a very nice point-scoring opportunity for Alpine in terms of the team standing, as we mentioned. Red Bull still leading the way on 177 points, but Alpine only 24 points behind.
Big opportunity if this holds. They need Freddie Rasmusson to continue contending. And they find themselves with Otis Lawrence closing in. He is the highest placed driver who started on the medium tyres, who switched to the hard tyres, worth about a second a lap, the new ones, on the 15-lap olds that are currently being run by the field who started on that alternative strategy. I would suggest that you're going to get a bigger offset with the mediums towards the end, but it would have to be all action for those on the medium tyres as we make our way through the S's. Lap 15 of 28, and we wait to see those on the hard tyre come in, peel into the pits. Freddie Rasmusson will then be hoping for a highlight reel finish with move after move after move, but he's going to have a bit of ground to make up.
Yeah, before this season, the Alpine Sim Racing team had accumulated 4 wins and 13 podiums throughout the history of the series, but their recent partnership with G2 Esports to help improve the future performance of the drivers, help them develop as drivers as well, is clearly working out. Their highest finish in the championship over since 2022 has been 9th place, now finding themselves 2nd. Alpine are doing an outstanding job with their lineup, have a very, very strong lineup. The closest drivers to taking it to Red Bull as Freddie Rasmusson and Jarno Opmeer, obviously still the favourites in the championship, but you can't take your eyes off Otis Lawrence and Danny Beresnay. Beresnay, yes, a veteran of the series. Here we see the first of the hard runners pulling into the pit lane for some medium, so 12 laps needed on their medium stint. Ismail Fassi and Jake Benham will peel off into the pit lane for an average 19-second pit lane loss time. They will now re-emerge. Let's see where they come out in the order. Surely it has to be quite far down. Gable Shontos will be hoping to try and jump 1 or 2 if possible. He actually gets past both of them and still sitting in behind Barry Borrament.
So he's not part of the train, so Fassi and Benham will have the tyre offset. They will be up to the back of him very quickly. But this was the problem. This was the offset. He's got a long way to go. Fassi's got 6 seconds to join his teammate in the train. That's a long, long gap. And they were looking at that. It was around the 5-6 second mark. Rasmusson still in a slightly better position. Surely they will respond to those in this second group on the alternative strategy, coming in and taking new rubber, because it is effective, the undercut here, by going to that new rubber. They're putting through a lot of it. Joni Tomala spinning up the wheels, coming out of turn 12 at the moment. Duncan Hoffman running in P3 as it stands. How many of this gaggle will come into the pits? Surely they'll want access to the new Pirelli rubber as soon as possible.
Well, if we have a look at the opposite side where we saw the medium runners pulling into the pit lane, it was normally around lap 8 was the earliest. The latest that we saw drivers come in was lap 10, but Freddie Rasmusson is going to pull the trigger now into the pit lane. He goes, followed in by Thomas Ronhaar, and so does Duncan Hoffland and Joni Tomala. All 4 drivers from the front end peel off into the pit lane for a fresh set of Pirelli mediums onto the car. So it will be 11 laps needed in the final stint, much longer than we saw any of the medium runners go on their tyres. Actually, we saw quite a few of the drivers only go about 8 or 9 laps on their mediums, 10 being a stretch, but 11 is going to be the work needed from Freddie Rasmusson. He peels out in behind Ismail Fassi and Barry Borman. He'll be wanting to make quick work of the Ferraris in front of him to try and be in any contention of a big point scoring position.
Those on the hard tyres just had to go for the fresh rubber, because the strategy just wasn't working. It just wasn't working at all. The fact that Alpine were able to dictate the order and get exactly where they needed to be, there's not been any scrapping. They've been running exactly at the pace that they've wanted to, and as a result, they've got a huge amount of time to make up. Be interesting to see what progress Ismail Fassi and Freddie Rasmusson can go for. This is Ismail Fassi trying to get past Santos on debut. A little bit of a nudge. Welcome to the championship. Hello. And then dive bomb move. Nicely done. Position gained. And that was crucial for Fassi, because at the moment, I was going to say he was ahead of Freddie Rasmusson. That's not lasted for too much longer. This is Freddie Rasmusson. That was Schumacher-esque in the late 90s. No wonder why the Haas driver was taking evasive action. Hello, and welcome to the curb.
Well, welcome to the championship, welcome to the curb. Freddie Rasmusson showing him the door on exit. I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that one and have something to say, possibly, for an unsafe exit from the pit lane there by Freddie Rasmusson. Obviously, we're not the stewards. We can only speculate. They are much better at their jobs.
Yeah, I was going to say, thank goodness we're not the stewards. That's good for everyone involved. On board with Barry Borman. He's got Ilzilda Rim, who jumped in with an undercut earlier on, so that tyre is going to fade later in the race. And Nicolas Longuet is the driver that they're chasing. Alpine pair calling the shots at the front of the field. I'm amazed everyone's not come in who was on the hard tyre. There's just no benefit for being out there at this stage. Caraton, Croson, Otmir, Petreno not having easy days in qualifying or being shuffled back into Jarno Otmir, but there's no benefit to being on old rubber at this stage of the contest. Maybe they're just trying something different, because that's the only thing available to them at this stage of the contest. Freddie Rasmusson ahead of Ismail Fassi. That was the other way round, but now Rasmusson 2.4 seconds away from Barry Borman. That is the interesting gap. There you go. There's our Ferrari, our lead Ferrari in the race, Barry Borman. And then it is a case of whether Freddie Rasmusson can eat into that 2.6 second gap on those lovely, fresh, medium tyres that are going to need to have an offset of about a second a lap if he's going to do anything at one stage. And he's put a good stint together. Those further back in the train, so it was always going to be very, very tough. Remember how close Ronhaar was. Remember how, Rasmusson and Santos under investigation for Rasmussen's exit from the pit lane and forcing the Haas driver wide. So our closest contender, he's the fastest car on the circuit right now, might be having a penalty loom large over his head.
Well, he's actually 2 seconds a lap faster than the cars in front of him on the hard compound tyres. He's going to have to make this time up quickly if he wants to offset any penalty coming his way for that incident. We'll have to wait until the steward's verdict on that one. But Freddie Rasmusson, for the time being, can't worry about any penalties, as he needs to have a clear head and just focus on the track in front of him. 1.1 seconds. He's about to break DRS on Barry Borman. Already made his way past one of the Ferrari drivers. The next in his sight is already a race winner from Event 2, Barry Borman, who took home a race victory just moments ago. Rasmussen and Borman have a little bit of history between the two of them, just from Zandvoort, and we'll have to see how the battle pans out this time round. Well, it's going to be Freddie Rasmussen who will have to make the attacking maneuver this time.
Yeah, Freddie Rasmusson won't need any motivation after what happened on the last lap of the last race, but can Rasmussen make that medium tyre last for more than 3 laps at that peak pace? And can he make moves effectively now he's reached the back of the train? That is absolutely key. Your net race leader is Otis Lawrence. He's still got a gap of 3.3 seconds. He's still in clear air, and that is absolutely what he needs. Crozen's going to come in, and here is Freddie Rasmussen. So can he launch immediate attacks? Can he go for a dive bomb move that gets him ahead? There's a DRS train. Let's see, draining the battery down past 80%. 8th gear he goes. He's always going to go to the inside. That's a clean move. That's an encouraging move if you're a Red Bull fan and a Freddie Rasmussen fan, because that's exactly what he was looking for. Yes, he had the full battery, but that was easy stuff.
To be fair to Borman, he did try to put up a fight on that one. He threw him the dummy to the inside. Rasmussen had no choice but to go to the inside. He tried to carry the momentum round, but wasn't silly about it. Let Rasmussen have the position as soon as he knew that the battle was up, and didn't take it any further than it had to. Borman, his best opportunity now is to just latch onto the rear end of the Red Bull and follow him through the pack if possible. It's going to be so difficult with the offset of rubber between the mediums and the hards. Rasmussen's already got his eyes locked on his next victim of Ulas Yildirim in front. Yildirim, I fear, does not stand much of an opportunity. Is it going to be a big dive bomb from Rasmussen? He's setting it up, picks his braking point, but thinks better of it. Nearly feints his opponent into a lockup under braking in a wide move, but on the inside, he's going to switch there. Little bit of wheel banging there between Rasmussen and Yildirim, but he'll get the move and he'll get it done.
If you can turn it into a traction race, he's got the tyre advantage for the next 5 laps guaranteed. We know that. If this is going to continue on, this is very, very interesting. There's a chance as well in the background for Ronha. Mercedes man on the similar strategy, on the alternative strategy. But this strategy did not look like the right one. Duncan Hofland's got another opportunity, but that medium tyre is miles quicker at the moment. A fresh hard was worth a second. A fresh medium is worth 2 seconds. Dive bomb move further ahead. Looked like Ismail Fassi making the move on Yildirim. And it was Ismail Fassi getting by, and suddenly this race has turned into an overtaking fest. Jarno Opmis still not been in. He has the race lead. Ruben Pedreno is in second, and Otis Lawrence has that 2.9 second gap, 2.8 second gap, but he has got a threat at the back. Freddie Rasmussen, couple of positions back, is close. He does have an investigation hanging over him, though, for potentially forcing a driver off the racetrack, and he went that aggressive because he knew he needed the clear air and the racetrack to attack. It's going to get time penalty for 5 seconds. Another twist in this championship race. Rasmussen is flying, but he's got 5 seconds hanging over him.
Well, a 5-second penalty for an unsafe pit exit there because of the incident between Rasmussen and Santos, but that is just adding fuel to the fire. He's already seeing red mist making his way through the field, and this is just making him even more angry. Freddie Rasmussen, right on the limits, made his way past the pole sitter of Nico Long like it was baby food. It was no issue for Freddie Rasmussen, making his way through 19 now, down towards the final corner, and he will very shortly be on the back of Danny Beresnay. Freddie Rasmussen in with a chance of a race win.
He is, but 5 seconds in sim racing, that's an absolute mile. He'd done all the hard work, but he needed the track position. Look at what he's trying to do to everyone. He's not trying to go for the traditional overtakes, he's just trying to force defensive moves, because if he forces the driver ahead to a part of the racetrack which requires different traction, he's got the better traction on those medium tyres. He was always going to have to make up about 5 seconds on the leaders. When it came out in the end, it was 4 seconds. Now, with that penalty, he's going to have to make that medium tyre work in a way that no one else is going to be able to do so. Remember, Ronhaar was 0.3 of a second back from Freddie Rasmusson. Rasmussen's in-lap and out-lap superb, but on that out-lap, he chopped across the debutant too aggressively, forced the driver off the road, and as a result, he's going to have the ability to take the track position, but he's going to have 5 seconds added to his race time.
Now, if you're Alpine, surely you're screaming here at Bereznet to hold up the Red Bull driver as much as possible. Protect Otis Lawrence out in the net race lead right now.
But it's team games left and right because Jarno Opmeer's not come into the pits. So Jarno Opmeer playing the team game. Otis Lawrence trying to fight his way through. Ismail Fassi looks likely as well. Oh, that's very nearly contacted a hugely quick part of the racetrack for Ismail Fassi in the Ferrari. And we have Opmeer with no realistic chance of points, finding himself in first position. He knows he's going to drop down when he comes in. He's just a spoiler now for those that he was battling. Dive bomb move from downtown to get by. Ismail Fassi does not have the traction on those medium tyres. That's a surprise. Ismail Fassi having to wait, tucks back in, good use of the battery and then some from Nicolas Long, but that's going to cost him at certain points. No one overtakes there. That's not happening. Oh, nearly again. They are playing dare right now.
Well, here comes Ronhaar. He's now trying to get involved. That little snap opens the door for Hoflin. Hoflin gets through on Ronhaar. One of the Red Bulls is off the side of the road. Opmeer. What has happened to Opmeer?
Opmeer has pulled to the side of the road. He's out of the way of all of the pack. His chances have disappeared. Otis Lawrence leads by 0.6 of a second. Freddie Rasmusson is in the box seat to overtake. We're on board with Ismail Fassi. The strategy's meeting in the middle. That's going to be pick your breaking point and surely take the place. No, he waits. He waits at the moment. Can Rasmussen get by? And does he have enough time to make use of his better tyres?
Yildirim in the background now attacking on the back of Ronhaar. Ronhaar trying to hold on.
Go to the front of the field because here we go. Freddie Rasmusson has the chance. He's got the penalty hanging over him, but he might have a chance to build the gap. Freddie Rasmusson wheel banging at enormous speed, and Bereznet says no way and forces him wide at turn 19. And it's Alpine 1, Alpine 2 with Rasmusson on the charge.
Bereznet just parking the brakes on the final corner, not giving Freddie an inch on the entire line. Outside is the only option. He'll have to go for it. Locks the wheel in. They're still side by side into the second sector here. Surely with the pace advantage and the grip. Through goes Rasmussen. No worries there. Bereznet did his best to try and fend off for his teammate, but now it's all in the palms of Otis Lawrence. 4 laps and a 5-second advantage is needed.
Well, Red Bull can argue it, but it did look a penalty that was always going to be given. There are appeals that go in afterwards, so it's not simply a case of wave that driver through and know that it won't be rescinded. But Otis Lawrence has an advantage of 0.9 of a second, been working with Danny Bereznet. Rasmussen has done brilliantly to get himself into this place. This is on board with Jarno Opmeer, who found himself onto the grass, and this is why. Otis Lawrence is ahead and gets out of the way.
Well, I'm very surprised. I think we're both looking at the screen very confused on why Opmeer has just let the drivers through, because he seems to let through the whole. Was there a potential puncture there from Opmeer? I mean, we didn't see anything visible on the car. We'll have to wait and see if we can get any confirmation on what happened there for Opmeer, but from our point of view, seemingly just pulling off the circuit and letting Lawrence through.
Strange one. He did come back to the pits. He did change tyres and make his mandatory tyre compound change. Otis Lawrence versus Freddie Rasmusson. Freddie Rasmusson has a 5-second penalty that will be added to his race time, and everyone in close proximity. That looked like it was going to be a dive bomb move from Nicolas Long, but he couldn't make it work. And Duncan Hoflin behind has those medium tyres, fresh medium tyres up against fading hards. The mediums will have gone through the best of their grip, but they will still be good. Everyone felt the need to react and to jump onto these tyres because the alternative strategy was going to give them too much to do. They've potentially gone earlier than they would have wanted to that compound, and so the absolute peak grip has faded away. Still a chance though, but it means that you're not in the turn it into a traction race and definitely take the place situation that we were in earlier on. Otis Lawrence looking to score another win. It would be his third of the season, and it would be a hugely consequential one. With Jarno Opmeer's chances fading, Freddie Rasmusson, the closest contender that he will have as we go into the final event, and they are 1 and 2, but Rasmussen's exit being penalised by the stewards, and the 5-second penalty will remove him down the order. Nothing he can do about it now, and he will just try and take the win on track and argue about it, but Otis Lawrence is marking him off for the time being. Alvaro Carreton laid on the brakes, into the side of Jake Benham, and through he went.
Yeah, a little bit of argy-bargy there through the hairpin to get the move done. These drivers are loving a good move here. Carreton did let Benham back through there from that incident to avoid any sort of penalties, but Rasmussen really hitting a plateau in terms of pace and doesn't have that tyre advantage anymore over Otis Lawrence. Lawrence, of course, will always want to win this one on circuit. You'll want to win it off merit, but he also has to play the smart game. Does he risk getting involved in an incident with Freddie Rasmusson? Does he risk any contact that could by chance get rid of his race and put him out of contention of any top-end result? Or does he just let Rasmussen through and give away that 5-second penalty?
So Freddie Rasmusson with the penalty, and Otis Lawrence directly ahead. These two contenders. That looks like a brilliant opportunity for Freddie Rasmusson, on track at least, to go to the head of the field. And Rasmussen on the alternative strategy had got everything right, has built the pace absolutely wonderfully, but his exit from the pit lane onto the racetrack looks like it's going to cost him a memorable win. Otis Lawrence couldn't fight back. The question now becomes, can Duncan Hoffland on that medium tyre cause any headaches for Longuet, Beresnay or Lawrence? Freddie Rasmusson putting together a superb show, but crucially, his error to chop across and not leave a car's width is going to cost him a sensational win.
Yeah, such a huge amount of pain inflicted for such a small gain on Freddie Rasmusson, but these are the games you play at F1 Sim Racing. You're trying to find every small margin possible, and Freddie Rasmusson just pushing over the limit ever so slightly. Read the lap counter, 27 of 28, penultimate lap of the race now. And Otis Lawrence, if we know anything about the 18-year-old Welshman, he loves a good fight out there on the circuit. Through the middle sector, fastest lap going the way of Jarno Opmeer, but being down in 16th position, that's not what you would expect to see in terms of the turmoil of the 3-times world champion. Otis Lawrence still sticking onto the rear end of Freddie Rasmusson, maybe waiting for an opportunity to win this race on the actual circuit. Alpine, absolute masterclass from the two of them.
They will be so pleased. They're taking a huge haul of points. Scrapping going on behind Alvaro Carreton, Alfie Butcher. That story continues, and it continues down to turn number 12. Side by side they go. Rasmussen and Otis Lawrence not separated by much. Freddie Rasmusson has the advantage going on to the last lap. Then it's Otis Lawrence, Danny Beresnay, Nicolas Longuet and Duncan Hoffland. And Hoffland is close to Longuet with that tyre advantage, but the best of the mediums is long gone. No points for Jarno Opmeer. It means unbelievably it's going to be a return of 3 points from 3 races, and his championship charges slipping away. Freddie Rasmusson, Otis Lawrence, with the penalty applied to Rasmussen as well. It's going to cost him what should have been minimum a place on the podium. It looked like the challenge was so difficult for him to achieve. And just to put it into context, winner of the race here last year, Thomas Ronhaar, absolutely immense in sim racing, not having the easiest year. He was on a similar strategy. He wasn't too far away from Freddie Rasmusson. Ronhaar stuck. As so often those on the alternative strategy get. What Rasmussen was able to do today would have been a drive to remember, a win to remember, but at exit, he knew he needed the track position to have a chance to fight for it. He did not leave the space. The stewards penalised him, and we're watching a good battle on track, but as we come to the end of lap 28, it will see Rasmussen tumble down the order and Otis Lawrence inherit the victory.
A manoeuvre for the smallest gain that has completely thrown his race outside of the window. Otis Lawrence pulling to the inside line, just stepping out of the slipstream, not risking anything, is Otis Lawrence at this point, with just a few more winding corners to go. It's been a very tricky event 2 for Otis Lawrence. He hasn't had the easiest run towards it, but once again, it's looking like the Welshman will see the top step once more in event 2. Every single event he has now had a race victory. Otis Lawrence extending his championship lead.
Final corners of the last lap. And it was an immense drive from Freddie Rasmusson to make the alternative strategy work, but he got a 5-second penalty, and when it's applied, it is Otis Lawrence who will take the win. It is Otis Lawrence ahead of Danny Beresnay, and Nicolas Long will complete the podium. Freddie Rasmussen's dazzling drive goes unrewarded after being penalised on the exit of the pit lane, and it's Otis Lawrence who will go into the final event with the championship lead, the favourite to take his maiden title, and he gives all the thanks there is to Danny Beresnay playing the team game.
3 words out of Otis Lawrence's mouth. He's the GOAT. There's the screams, there's the celebrations. Alpine will drink this one in. It was a team effort. It's a team victory. The Welsh flag comes out. Otis Lawrence, you are a race victor once again.
3 for the season. And the group hug has turned into a bit of a riot. Alpine are having the season of their lives, and Otis Lawrence is celebrating with team members, with family, and knowing that if he can have a clean final 3 races, he's on the brink of his first title. The Welsh Dragon has roared once again, and he's taken the win. Freddie Rasmusson with an astounding drive on the alternative strategy. Duncan Hofland also with a great drive using that way to go. And great to see Danny Beresnay and Otis Lawrence finding themselves. There's confirmation, Otis Lawrence is the winner. And look at how drained, the adrenaline beginning to subside. And he knows that if he keeps it clean in Mexico, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi, he's going to have a great opportunity. That will be in the final event, but it's always defining around the circuit of the Americas. It's proven that way again. Jarno Opmeer, one of the greatest to ever do it, shaking his head in disbelief that the 3 races have given him just 3 points.
It's been a really difficult event for Jarno Opmeer. Not what we were expecting at all coming into this event, but Alpine just continuously celebrating what was an outstanding event.
They are elated at Alpine, and they'll be elated with Duncan Hofland having a superb run. Again, that strategy was not the one to be on for a long time, and then suddenly, if you could get the medium tyres to work, that was excellent for the driver who started in 11th position up to 5th. It was the one to be on at the end if you could make the moves. It's as simple as that. You needed a car that was quick in a straight line, and we saw the racecraft from Freddie Rasmusson. I know he's not going to get rewarded with it, but forcing those defensive moves and going, oh cool, traction race, is it? I'll go by. That was all of the experience and then some. Alpine are euphoric because they're on the brink of something very, very special. What a time to log a 1-2. What a time to change the order.
Well, off the back of that, it's not just an extension of the championship lead for Otis Lawrence, but it also seems like we have a new team's championship leader in Alpine Sim Racing. Oracle Red Bull Sim Racing have been dethroned at the end of event 2, and now it all lies on 3 more races. Who's going to be your team's champion? Who's going to be your driver's champion? No one can quite put a name on it yet.
No, but the Drivers' Championship is getting closer to the possession of that man. But as we have seen, you would not have got any reward for the odds of 3 points from 3 races for Jarno Opmeer. It ain't over till it's over, but what a win for Otis Lawrence. Danny Beresnay heading an Alpine 1-2. Nicolas Long, a fine podium for him. Duncan Hofland confirmed in 4th place. Superb for the driver who went from 11th on the grid to 4th in the classification. Then it was Fassi and Ronha. It was Eldarim going very early for those tyres and hanging on to 7th place. Barry Boromund in 8th. 9th position after the penalties applied for Freddie Rasmusson. Tough after a real exhibition of his superb racecraft and ability to make a tyre last. And Alfie Butcher started in 17th, finishes in P10. Good work for him. As we run through the point scorers: Alvaro Caraton, Ruben Pedreno, Joris Krozen, Joni Tormela, Jake Benham, Jarno Opmeer, Gabriel Santos on debut, and Julian Klaffenbach, who got himself into a spot of bother, is the last classified finisher. This is what the Drivers' Championship looks like. Otis Lawrence with a 27-point lead. Freddie Rasmusson, his closest contender. Nico Long in 3rd. Ismail Fassi in 4th. And Jarno Opmeer now finds himself P5. And it's Eldarim, Butcher, Beresne, Ronha and Pedrino. But it's Lawrence and Rasmussen fighting for this title as they scrap for the biggest prize that we have on offer. There is a new leader in the team's championship. Alpine scoring a 1-2 on a day where it looked like Red Bull could win the race, but in the end, for all of their pace and all of their performance, it was only 9th position for one driver. Jarno Opmeer out of the points as well. It means Oracle Red Bull Sim Racing 179. Then it's Ferrari, Williams and Racing Bulls, McLaren, Aston Martin, Mercedes and Haas on 34. A reminder for you, Alpine have never won this title before. Okay, let's go downstairs to Nicola, who's in conversation with P2 and P3.
I certainly am. I tell you what, I know you're chatting amongst yourselves, but we're about to have a chat live on camera. The atmosphere in here is crazy. Nico, how on earth do you feel after that?
I was stressful, to say the least. I mean, the pressure that I was put on by the medium runners in the end was extremely high. I don't think we expected them to catch as quick as they did, which surprised me and caught me off guard. And I just tried to hang on as much as I could. I knew after lap 1 that it was going to be impossible to beat the two Alpines. When you're working together, it's so easy to control. So I was fully saving my tires, preparing for the attack of the hard medium runners in the second stint, and it paid off. Thankfully, I managed to keep the P3. So yeah, I'm just happy that we went through unscathed.
Unscathed, and a very nice podium for you and Danny Beresne. Wow, teamwork at its absolute finest, I think.
Yeah, well, first of all, I had a great start of the race after a great qualifying, and thanks for this guy for keeping it always clean with not just me, but with everyone. He is one of the best OG drivers on the grid, doing a great season. And yeah, I got my first podium of the season, which I'm really happy about, but obviously even more satisfied I am about the constructors' points we scored. And I'm super happy for Otis, who is now leading the Drivers' Championship by quite a good margin, and the constructors as well. But we still have 3 races to go, and we see that how quick things can turn around in esports. So we have to push hard to finish the season with the same precision that we've been showing in the last 3 events.
I mean, exactly this, Nico Long. 3 races to go. So what happens between now and then? We've got a couple of weeks break now.
No, there's no break. I mean, I think we're off. Even some people tonight already back on the sim because we only have about 10, 11 days until the next event. And to prepare 3 tracks, I don't know how much people know how much prep goes behind into this. It's so many hours, and to do 3 tracks in 11 days of prep is just going to be very tight. I think it's going to be who can be the most efficient and who can just show up on the day, because it's going to be tight.
I think this is the key thing. I think those that are watching at home, sometimes they can't see the amount of work that goes in behind the scenes. And the fact that you guys are the people at the top of your game. You're not just kind of sitting down playing a game. This is top world-class level, and Alpine at the moment absolutely smashing it. Otis absolutely smashing it. I know he's head up to the studio now to go and have a chat with Tom Deacon, but is there anything that you would like to say to Otis?
Yeah, well, all in all, I'm very proud of him. When he started league racing with me 2-3 years ago, he was one of the kids that caused the most amount of incidents. Well, he's still leading the penalty point championship, but he's leading the normal championship as well, so I guess can't complain. But he matured a lot, learned a lot, and is still learning every day, listening to us, to the team, even though he is carrying, in terms of pure performance, everyone on the back. So that's really great by him. And yeah, just reacting to what Nico said, it's a lot of preparation preparation. Even in the last event, I think on 2 of the 3 tracks, it's very likely to rain as well. So we practice rain, transitions, dry, quali, race, Q1, Q2, Q3. And these guys, for example, Nico drives all of the 3 races. For example, me next event, we will share it with the team, with Josh. I will probably drive 2, Josh will drive 1. So it's a little bit of team game advantage again for us. But yeah, last event will be very unpredictable just because of the lack of time.
I tell you what, though, bring it on. In the meantime, tonight, celebrate today at least. Have a little celebration. Go back and join your teams. Meanwhile, we're going to head back to the studio with Tom Deacon. Off you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicola Hume. And there is the celebration from the man of the moment. And so importantly, it's all about the team. Danny Berezne celebrating with his teammate Otis Lawrence. And I tell you what, event 3, that's what it's done to him. It's tired him out, but he's in the studio with me. Otis Lawrence, congratulations. 21st start in F1 sim racing, 5th win. How good did that feel?
Felt amazing, honest to God. I thought at the end that it would be over when Freddie was on the new mediums, and then as soon as I heard he had a penalty, I was really comfortable at the end. And sorry for my voice, but yeah, it's good to have a points lead now in the championship, but it's not over yet. It's not over till it's over. So you just got to keep focused, and tomorrow I'm going to get on the game and start grinding again.
Wow, that is the sort of attitude of a champion, and now tipped to be having your maiden championship. And as Danny said, finish the season with the same precision. How important is someone like Danny fighting alongside you?
Oh, it's amazing. These guys in my team are just fantastic. We've just been perfect all through the event. I haven't been perfect, but the team has. Danny as well, Josh as well. These guys are just amazing drivers. They help so much. We've such good chemistry in the team. The morale is just amazing. And these guys are people I want to be in the future.
Well, I think, and everyone watching, have watched you over event 3, and we haven't even talked to you. Because things haven't gone your way. I feel like we haven't had our Otis fix. So I want to grab as much time with you as possible. How difficult has it been from the standards that you set? 3 poles last time out in event 2. What's it been like, Otis?
It's been really tough, compared to last event. It was pretty much perfect on quali pace. This event, I've been also really good on quali pace, but, the pressure's getting higher now as well. So, a few mistakes are creeping in, but I just got to keep pushing, making sure these mistakes don't happen. I keep learning every day on these mistakes. These mistakes are good for me, so I can learn from them. And, they'll just make me stronger as a driver, which is, give me the win today.
Oh, well, listen, Otis Lawrence, congratulations. From a 2-time champion, Brendan Lee, what did you make of Otis's drive today? And the team, Alpine, are 1-2. I think the first time that's ever happened. What a time for them at the moment.
Calm, cool, calculated. And to kick things off will be turn 1. Otis, I know you haven't got much of a voice left, but I want you to talk everyone through what you did in corner 1, because this opened up the race-winning opportunity, at least in my opinion. Take it away.
Yeah, so at the start, Danny had an amazing start. He went down the inside of Nico through turn 1, and you can see right here, Danny we planned this before the race, that Danny would try and push Nico a bit wide so I could get a good run towards the exit of turn 1, which Danny did absolutely to perfection, to be honest. We planned this perfectly, and Danny, with his experience, managed to do this absolutely perfect, and shows why he's probably the best teammate you can have. So, I just got such a good run because I prepared the exit, and it pretty much got us the race win and 1-2.
I just want to talk a little bit about this and how your heart was in your mouth at that moment.
Yeah, it was quite nerve-wracking, to be honest. I didn't want to make contact, and then through the next right-hander, through the little flat kink, I thought, me and Nico go side-by-side through the S section, which is very dangerous. And, in my position as well, I want to win the championship. I want to be consistent as possible as well, so I don't really want to get into these moments. But yeah, it was very close, very clean as well. But GG's to Nico, GG's to Danny.
Expertly judged. You haven't seen this yet, but this is what gave Fredrik Rasmusson his penalty and made your life a little bit easier in the process. So coming down into turn 1, watch for the Red Bull entering left of shot and pushing off the track in the process. I know you have the utmost respect for Freddie, Red Bull, we speak behind the scenes, and how do you think they're going to come back in the following event?
Never cut Red Bull out. You know, they're a team with amazing drivers, amazing team. You know, they've been winning for years. So, you know, to challenge Red Bull and try and apply pressure to Red Bull is really a hard job because they have such an amazing organization and such like crazy drivers and people in that team. So it's very hard. But yeah, you know, these mistakes come in. You know, I made some mistakes as well during the season. You can't be perfect. You know, no one's perfect in this grid. So you always have to maximize the opportunity that you get. But Red Bull will come back next event even stronger. I 100% will tell you that. And yeah, hopefully not strong enough next event for me.
When he was battling behind you, we were sort of thinking, I think it was the penultimate lap, we were like, what's Otis going to do here? And we can't even begin to see what's going through your mind talking to the teams. But was that strategy like, I'm just going to let him pass? I know he's got this penalty. I know it's going to stick. Was that going through your mind?
Yeah, you know, I was trying to make sure that Freddie didn't play any games with me. Obviously, he's fighting for me in the title, so I just tried to play a bit safe. You know, lap 28, or lap 27, sorry, I nearly hit him on the rear. So, you know, Tomek had a bit of a heart attack, my engineer, I think. So he was like telling me, no, you know, you just stop, don't get as close. But yeah, I was just managing the gap. And last lap, I think you saw me pull out the slipstream just to make sure I didn't gain as much as I could. And yeah, won the race because of that.
Brendan, any more clips?
No more clips on this side. The final one would just be an off-board shot of the instant. But do you know what? We'll roll it just for the factor of it. Entering shot, and you can see just going over one more time. But that's it from me with the extra big screen.
Oh, well, look, Brendan, Otis, come and join Nicola Hume on the sofa. Top stuff. And Nicola, got to ask, any questions straight away to Otis Lawrence? We haven't seen him much at Event 3.
I haven't seen him much. And do you know what? At the start of this show, we were chatting about which ones would be the ones to watch. And I said you, because I was very much in the mindset of, you've had a tricky first start to this event, but at the end of the day, I know there's been mistakes, but nobody's perfect. Do you know what I mean? And in comes Otis and absolutely smashes the race. And that was fantastic from you. But the team, the atmosphere in that arena, it's not just the fact that you jump off your rig and then you go and hug Danny Bresnay and then it's all really exciting. It's then the aftermath of the entire team running into the room, screaming. Everyone's jumping for joy. It was pure bliss for me to see that in person. I mean, I know I saw it at DreamHack in Birmingham, but that was in front of a live crowd, so it all kind of blended in. But in that silent room, and then all of a sudden it erupts, I had goosebumps.
You've explained the feelings that we watched. Oh. You were right by the drivers. Teamwork, so important. We put this together for you, Otis, to have a little look at, and maybe you can talk about the teamwork, the strength you are in numbers and what it is, because last year, bottom of the standings, and now top of the standings after Event 3.
Yeah, I mean, the team's just fantastic. You know, I think we're showing exactly why we're the best team on the grid. This team, honestly, I've never been happier, more in a team in my life. The passion is just uncomparable to any other team. You know, we're the most passionate team on the grid. We're most hungry for it as well. And as you can see in the race here, you know, honestly, at this point, I kind of knew we'd get a 1-2 because how hard it is to overtake on this track. So, yeah, I'm so happy we converted it, and the team's just amazing.
Can you talk about the Danny Bresnay, the pit stop, to perfection? And that's the sort of confidence. When things are going well, you've got that teamwork, and you're putting in the hours, the grind, and then things click into place. It is exceptional to see. Does it feel like that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we planned it before the race that Danny will, if we get 1-2, Danny will like slow down a little bit so that I don't get undercut by Nico. And thankfully for us, Nico followed Danny in, which helped my race a lot. And we just played it perfection. It could very well gone wrong, that race, and we did have a lot of luck on our side as well. So yeah, I'm just super happy.
And Brendan, you know how good we were watching clips there of Danny Bresnay keeping Freddie Rasmusson at bay. That is not an easy task, but it makes it look kind of easy sometimes, Danny.
Yeah, he was defending like a lion, and Danny B is truly one of the best team players in F1 sim racing history, both behind the scenes mentally, but also physically on track. So really, he did an outstanding job, both for himself, for Otis, and the team.
Have a look at this, Otis. I've just been told they've made the graphic. Amazing team here at F1. Look at this, and what does that mean to you, seeing your name at the top spot?
As I said last event, you know, it's not over till it's over. You know, it feels good at the moment, but yeah, got to stay focused, of course. Keep doing every race by race, and yeah, let's hopefully it can end like that.
it gives you that incentive to grind. I mean, Nico Long said to you, Nicola, what break? There is no break.
Yeah.
The team standings, there you have it. It's just phenomenal to see. After event 1, I was like, okay, yeah, Alpine, I like their vibe. I want to be part of that team. It looks good fun. But now, you're serious. That's the thing. A serious team delivering. What will happen in event 4? We will find out. But just to remind everybody, this is going to be the schedule for event 4 coming back. There is no rest days for Otis Lawrence. I know that. He's already said he's going to be back on the game tomorrow. Where will we be racing? That is the question. Let's have a quick look. Mexico City, Sao Paulo, and Abu Dhabi. The flyaways. Nicola, out of those 3, which one are you looking forward to?
I mean, just all 3 of them.
Okay.
Literally all 3.
All right, then we'll do all 3 of them.
Bring
I
it
thought we were going to cancel one out and choose your favourite.
No, just bring it all on.
We'll do it.
I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. And also, maybe when you celebrate next time, scream from the diaphragm, then you won't lose your voice so much.
He does it perfectly, just in time for the next event. He gets his voice fully back. But yeah, top stuff, Otis. And it really is it going to be now? Back on the grind, ready for 2 weeks' time?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say as well, like I had water in my mouth as soon as the team entered the room, so I was really trying to quickly swallow it. I couldn't like shout with the water in my mouth, so I was gonna choke. But yeah, you know, I'm excited for next event. They're good 3 tracks for me as well, so we'll see what happens.
Hey, I don't want to put you on the spot here, Brendan, but event 3. Been awesome to have you part of it and showing your expertise. Is there any advice for the drivers who are hoping to be in the mix to be a future world champion? What advice would you have?
Well, for Otis, keep doing what he's doing, and for other people, do what Otis is doing, and that's winning.
Simple. It gives a shot. We had another minute to fill, but we're not with that. That's perfect. That's the thing. Nicola, looking forward to event 4, Otis Lawrence. Congratulations. And it happened at the end of event 2. We rounded out, I feel like a sort of deja vu. This is how we are ending. If you could win on the last one as well, that would be the perfect hat trick there. Listen, to everybody who's involved in F1 Sim Racing in 2026, it's been a pleasure to have you join us for another event. We'll say goodbye, but don't forget, it is all coming down to that championship finale in event 4. We'll see you then. Don't miss it.